Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Tracy Irby, and I'm the director at the Center for Women Entrepreneurs at Texas Women's University. And we're going to be talking about our grant today. But first, Virginia, if you and your staff would like to introduce themselves first before we get started.
I'm Virginia, and I'm the business advisor here at the SBDC at Sul Ross State University. And I'm very grateful that Tracy is going to take time to show us and guide us through the grant application and the do's and don'ts.
Great, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Norma Martinez. I'm the training coordinator here for the SRSU SBDC here in Alpine. And of course, I'm in charge of trainings, but I also assist Virginia here in the office. So I'm here to learn as well.
Okay, great. Well, I'm really happy you guys have reached out and are interested in, that we help the people, the women in Alpine that are interested in applying for a grant. So this is the third year of our Texas Rural Grant. And one thing we find consistently as we go through is that applicants aren't reading and sending in what it is that we are requesting. So we're doing this to kind of help go through everything with you so you understand what is needed so you give a great grant application, because that's always what we want to find. It's so frustrating for us when we get applications and they aren't complete or they have not proved that their business is woman owned. So we're going to go through this here, and if there are questions as we go along, I don't know, you can probably unmute or you could just put it in the chat. And Virginia, if either one of you would want to let me know when there's a question, if I don't see it, we'll answer it then. But many times the question will be answered as we go on. So this is our 2025 rural grant, and we're really excited that we got to go back to $10,000 again. Last year it was 5, but the first year was 10,000 as well. So at the end, we're funded by the state, and we have to use all our funds by the second year, and that is that second year. So there were some extra funds, so we're putting it into this grant. So the purpose is really to help more businesses in rural areas get funding. We understand that you don't have all the resources that some do in bigger communities. So we're giving 10 grants of 10,000 for a total of 100,000 that we're giving this round. And it is closing next week. So who can apply? Existing rural woman-owned companies, and you have to be at least 51% woman-owned. If you're 100, that's great, but 51 is the qualifier. Directly owned and controlled by one or more women who are U.S. citizens. The business owner must reside in Texas. Sometimes I have people where their business is in other states, but they work with rural communities. But that is not what we're looking for. We're looking for a business and the owner that is in Texas. And the business must be in one of the eligible rural counties. So please, if you're looking at this, check your county before you even start filling out the application. One of the most important things, and you'll probably hear me say this multiple times, and I said it to Virginia once already, read, read, read. The biggest reason women are disqualified is because they don't read the directions, they don't read the guidelines, they don't double check their business formation documents. And you can do all of that before, because we have a dedicated grant email, cwegrants@twu.edu. And I answer those every single day. I answer them on the weekend. So there's no rush to get your application in first. This is not a rolling grant. So take your time, but check the eligibility. You don't want to waste your time doing a lot of paperwork for something, you're disqualified at the very beginning because your business formation documents are not what is correct, what is needed. So this one, as it is a 10,000 upfront, we are requiring that businesses be at least 3 years and were formed before 5/20 of 2022. And the reason we do that, we have to be good stewards of the funding that we get. And in 2 years is, many times a lot of businesses don't make it that far. So we have made it because, again, we want to make sure this is going to a business that has survived those difficult first years. The business has to be a for-profit corporation, partnership, LLP, LLC, or sole proprietorship. The reason we don't do nonprofits is because nobody owns a nonprofit. You can't pass it on to your family. You opted to be tax exempt, and we are funded with tax dollars. So nonprofits are not eligible for that. So with this, if your business has to have all property taxes current, all sales, payroll, and other taxes must be current. These are being given to businesses that are good standing with the state of Texas. The business must be located again and operated within an eligible Texas county. The business must be located. So this is important. Sometimes people live somewhere else and their business is somewhere else. It's going by that because we've had big companies in there, but they live somewhere else. That's not what matters. It's where the business is. So if your business is registered, and many use a registered agent, and many of those are out of Austin, you have to show additional information that your business is based in a rural county. So we've had some recently that did this, and this woman was disqualified last year because the only thing she sent in is that her business was in Sugar Land, Texas. We're going by that. We have multiple judges on all of our grants. Not all of them are employees of the CWE or even TWU. We do have some from the business college that help, but we have women in the community who are either really in the entrepreneurial ecosystem that help judge. So you need to put that clarified document in the one where you're supposed to put your business formation. So if your business is, again, it shows in Austin, you need to send some other documentation that shows where your business is really based. So it could be, again, it could be your taxes, something else that shows where the business exists. Um, the next step, the business owner, and applicant must not be involved in any pending or current litigation because many times that litigation could affect your business. The business owner must not have any felonies or convictions for a crime of dishonesty or breach of trust. The business owner and applicant must operate with all required permits and licenses and conform to all required laws. For those that are taxable, you can check this link here that we have with the state to see if your business is in good standing. For instance, we always find some that are ineligible with the state, and many times it's because they didn't go in and file a franchise tax report. Now, some of that is going a little different now since they changed to the BOI, but there's still a responsibility to make sure your business information is correct with the state. If you have moved, you can send in a change of address or something like that to the state. And we find this so important. Many people don't realize either that a DBA, a sole proprietor, assumed name that you do at your county clerk is only good for 10 years. So you want to make sure that you check and make sure your business is in good standing before you apply for this grant, because we do check every single one before we even announce grant winners. So ineligible applicants. So first of all, any business that is not on our rural county list. Again, this is where you need to read and go in there first off. And if your business formation document doesn't send this, again, send the complete documentation showing where your business is located. Your rural business must be registered with the state prior to 5/21 of 2022. We have to pick a date, so we picked it the day we announced the grant. So if your business was formed 5/22 of 2022, you're not eligible. So it's real important. Once a grant document is out there, we can't change it. Many times people will ask, well, my business was, founded 1 week after that. No, that date is not from 5/21. Um, this is the ineligible one. So it has to be before that date. So anything after 2021, we cannot do. Uh, we don't let people from TWU apply because the grant, it is a rural grant. Students are not eligible because we're funded for all of Texas, and there are a lot of women-owned businesses here. We don't let prior grant winners apply again because that wouldn't be right, because there's so many others that are looking for funding. And applicants who have been in any of our programs within the last year is not eligible, because it's not right. When we send out press releases, we don't want the same name in the same year being funded or being a part of our programs. But after 1 year, you're fine. So what can the funds be used for? Really, it's any legal business purpose is what they can be used for. What we're looking for is a project that will be completed in the next 6 months. We're not looking for something that's going to take years for you to complete. And the reason being, those funds need to be spent. We've had people purchase machinery, equipment, technology, new computers, podcast equipment, fixtures. We've had some on their farms getting machinery for that. Maybe you need raw materials depending on what your business is. You can, again, fixtures, display units, property improvements that will result in increased sales and revenue. We had one winner that added an additional bathroom. So there are many different things, but those can help you in your business. Marketing or advertising campaigns are allowed, and any other business related activity that we find is aligned with the purpose of this program. If you're not sure, again, there's that grant email you can send a question to. Is this something I could purchase? You cannot purchase property with it, but physical property, a house, a farm, land, any of that you can't do. You can get a trailer though, or we had somebody even get a vehicle, and we even had one person buy a hearse for their funeral home. So we're very flexible on what it can be used for. We cannot pay wages, salaries, bonuses, or compensation under this program, and they will not be funded. So if you say it's for operating expenses, that is not something. It needs to be something for your business that's going to help it grow. You can, so this is a caveat, you can have a consultant, because they are not an employee. So if I hired a marketing consultant to do marketing, that is allowed. You just can't have them as employees. Real property, you can't have building, land, etc. With the grant. This is not for paying your monthly bills, your rent, telephone, any of those. But if you wanted to buy a program like QuickBooks, you just buy the whole program at once. You don't pay monthly. You can do it in one lump sum if it's something like that. And everything that you send, we do not pay sales tax. Um, so we don't allow you to charge sales tax to your purchase. But if you go in and look, I'm going to buy this computer for 4,800, that's the number you'll give us. We can pay shipping, so that is okay. Just don't include sales tax in the purchase of what you're going to buy. So what are the grant requirements? So awardees are going to receive $10,000 after signing a grant agreement, and they submit all the required documentation that we need. We are a state agency. We do not move fast, but there's a lot of documentation we'll send you that needs to be filled out before we can send this over for funding. So the first amount of funding, it could take a month. It all depends on how fast you are doing the paperwork. This is up to you. So I can't tell you you're going to have it in a month because you may not have turned in every single document. All receipts from this program must be totaled and submitted for review before January of 2026. Again, we're looking for you to do a project that you're going to do right away that's going to help grow your business. We don't want something that's going to take a year or two to complete. So application requirements. These are due by June 20th of 2025 at 5, and we write this out every time, 0.00.00 or 00. It is due by 5 o'clock. And I'm telling you, every single year, well, I was in there. It cut me off. We know when you were in there, and the grant closes at 5 o'clock Central Time, and that is it. So don't go in at 4:15. Don't go in at 4:30. You could go in at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but we get so many at the last minute, and every year somebody's disqualified. Tech issues can happen. Power can go out. When you're doing something as important as applying for 10,000, follow the rules to the T. Send your formation documents. All right. This is the business filing for your business, setting you up as a sole proprietor or assumed name, an LLC or a LLP, and if there is a man on any of these documents, you need to send the certificate of organization, articles of incorporation, anything showing the members and the percentage owned. And you have to send this with the LLC document, every single page, signed and dated. Sometimes people will send the first page of an LLC, which has the business name only. That does not prove your business is woman-owned. This is the number one area that we disqualify people right out the gate. So I sound serious, but it is so frustrating to me, and it has to be for you if you filled out the whole application, but at the first spot, you didn't meet the qualifications. We are not, and look, read this. Read. These are not permitted. You will be rejected immediately if you send an EIN. They do not check that your business is woman owned or who the owner is. Even if it says sole member, we do not accept that. We need your formation document, assume name, LLC, corporation, any of those. A sales and use tax permit, that shows us nothing. It does not show you are the owner of the business and who the managers are. Do not send your income taxes, driver's license. We have gotten before a driver's license and a credit card. Honestly, if we were, I mean, don't be sending that information out. Read what is required and send that. We have a grant email dedicated to this number. And Virginia, if one of you can copy this and put it in the chat for them, that would be great. You can send us any of that ahead of time so you don't get eliminated. This year on the rural grant, we've already gotten an EIN, a sales and use tax permit, and a driver's license. Read. This is so important. How long would it take you to have 10,000 to spend on anything in your business? It could take years. So please, please, please take the time and make sure this information is in there that we are asking for, not the things that we say. And this is in the application as well, which shows us how much people are just sending anything they want. And we don't want to see that. We want you to have a successful grant application. Again, if you aren't sure, send it to us. If you have changed your business filings within the years, send both of those. I had somebody the other day, there was an issue on hers. She went out and did a assumed name, but it was dated 6/10 of 2025. That does not show you were eligible before the date. So if there was a DBA or something else you had before, you have to submit all of that. It needs to be in this one area where we ask for proof. We're not going to go to the third page if you're disqualified at the one where you put in your business documentation. Next, you're going to give us company background and description of what the grant is going to be used for. And we say, use this template, copy and paste it, do whatever. Do you remember me saying we have outsiders also that are judging these grants? There are 3 different people on all of them. If we cannot find any one of these questions, you will be disqualified. And sometimes in the word salad or whatever people are sending, they don't put this. If you don't if you don't copy and paste this, at least put each of these headings in there so we can find them. We don't need to be searching for this information. Copy, paste, answer, 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 answer. If it doesn't apply, put NA. Description of your current operations. What is your business? What do you do? That is what this question is asking. Here, if you want to put a little history, I worked in purchasing for years. Now I'm starting a business to help others make purchasing. Put that in there so we know who you are, a little bit of history. Doesn't have to be a lot. And some grant winners have maybe had 2 or 3 sentences, but we knew exactly what their business was. Don't give us a bunch of jargon. Don't go to ChatGPT and create something. We've had applications like that, and it even said, put your business name in here. Don't overthink this. It is not that difficult. Just answer what we asked. There is another video online as well and a checklist. So make sure you look at that before you submit your application. So next, the description of the company's current operating facilities. Do you work out of your home? That's fine. If so, I'm a home-based business. If you own property, put that. If you rent a space, put that. That's all we're asking. Summary of the current company's current full and part-time employee. 10 employees, 6 employees, just me. That's all we're asking. We don't need a ton of information. We just want to know. Description of the company's need to undertake the proposed project. All right, what are you getting? I need a trailer. Why do you need that? I am looking to purchase a trailer for my business so I can take items to farmers markets or to vendor shows. It's that simple. That's what we need to know, why you need to do that. That right now, that this grant funding is going to solve a problem in your business. Maybe it's for marketing. Only people in my local area know about me, and I need additional marketing to people in my specific industry. Again, you don't need to overthink these questions. Budget for the project, including project cost and source of funds. This is probably the second or third area where people are disqualified. You need to do a budget. We have an example of in the Q&A or FAQs. So please make sure you go there and read. Our grant is, we are giving you $10,000. We are not giving, and this happens every year too. People give 9,000, could be 9,995. No, you will not get the grant because we're giving 10,000. We're not looking for any number under, any number over. So we know what happens, that not everything's going to be an exact dollar amount. We ask for source and use of fund. So source would be TWU grant. You need to put that in there. We need to know exactly what 10,000 is going to be used for. There's also, you can put owner investment. So let's say I have 9,000, making a $9,000 purchase, and I'm purchasing something else for 2,000. All you have to put on that one is for source is TWU grant / owner investment. Or if you are getting a loan for that other, let's say the additional amount was 20,000, you could put, 2,000. You don't even need to spell it out. You just need to put TWU grants, owner investment, TWU grant, bank loan. That's what you need to do, because as we're looking, in many years, people are going over. And if you go over or under that 10,000, again, minus taxes, you can't include taxes in that. So next is physical description of the proposed project, including any business or residential. Sometimes maybe this is you're getting into a new space. You could, so at this point, you're putting in what can happen. So my project is going to be, I'm trying to think these up on the fly. So if your project was going to be a marketing project, you're probably not going to move your business because of that. But let's say you're going to expand something in your business. These are just what we're asking for. We're not asking for a lot of information on these. We just need to be able to read it and know exactly what you're looking for. Again, we have had grant winners that have had 1 or 2 sentences. Projected new employment. You have to answer every single one of these questions. It may not apply. At least put NA and make it where we know you answered the question, because any one of these single answer questions that are not answered disqualifies you. And then the last one is explanation of how your project will contribute to the economy of Texas. Hey, we're going to increase the tax base. Um, we're going to hire new employees, anything like that. It could even be growth in your community that's going to be happening. We have this in our FAQ with some examples. So again, make sure you answer every single question that is on here. It's easily found. If you want to make this pretty, that's fine, but it doesn't improve your chances. Cut and paste this, answer each one of those questions, answer it fully. So one thing that is asked on there is if your taxes are current. And on there, if you have not filed your income taxes yet, you're not, um, you could have filed an extension. It is current. It's not current if you haven't paid them for 3 years. So you just want to make sure on all of these, you answer the questions correctly. If you get disqualified, typically that's early on for this reason. Um, don't call us and ask us why, because we don't see your application. You did not answer one of the qualifying questions correctly. We don't have access to that back end. And sometimes it's just because somebody did not answer correctly. So there's more information here. I believe that one's a short video where you can find more about the background and project information. Now, again, some of our other grants aren't this grant, aren't 10,000. These are the rules on this page. This is what we're going by. Somebody watched the other video we have on there. Well, it says 5,000. Well, that's in general. This grant, the grant guidelines that you see here are what you're applying for. So any of our other videos may not be referring to this specific grant at this specific dollar amount. This is 10,000. So after you're awarded, you're going to have to submit all of your paperwork to us. You will get the grant funds after all of that is submitted and goes through our approval process. We also have a supplier registration on TWU that you're going to be required to do. Nobody needs to do anything now. You need to do it once you've been notified that you are a winner of this grant. You will complete 3 business training courses that is hosted by us, and it's geared towards a little later stage business. You're going to create a 3-year cash flow showing how the grant will help your business. Your friends at the SBDC can help you with this. We can't help you with that because that's a conflict of interest. You're going to send in itemized paid receipts or proof of purchase made with grant funds. And it has to do after you've received the grant funding. We're not paying for things you've already purchased. We're paying for a project, something you want to do from the day you get your grant funds going forward. Now, be careful here because it could take a month or so the first time, depending on how long it takes you to fill out your paperwork. We had somebody that was buying a vehicle. Well, we can't tell you exactly what day you're getting the funds because it's up to you in getting the pay. So if there's something you're going to have to pay for with grant funds and you don't have the cash yourself to pay before, then you may want to think about something else that you could purchase with this. What's nice on this grant is you are getting the full 10,000 at once, so that can help with a bigger purchase. But you will have to send in all of that, and of course, no taxes can be included with that. We also require 3 hours with a small business advisor, and this is what's so nice. If you're already working with the SBDC, you can use them. We have advisors. The SBDC in other regions have advisors. SCORE has advisors. You may have a personal advisor. That's okay, but they're going to have to send documentation that you spent 3 hours with them. You can start that. When you're notified you're a grant winner, you should start doing that immediately. Sometimes people wait and they have all the receipts and everything else, but they haven't done the advising yet. Start that the day or day after you're announced as a winner. And again, it can be other things to help your business, but outsiders can help you do a 3-year cash flow, showing how this 10,000 is going to help your business. So again, start early. Don't wait till later to get this done. We send a spreadsheet out for you to put all this documentation on. Do not ever send us anything with clickable links that take us somewhere else. If we are audited by the state in 2 years, those documents may no longer be online. We need it written out, and you send a copy of a paid receipt or invoice. Um, if they paid, they didn't give you anything, you can send something from your credit card or something else where it was paid. Anything just showing that it was done. We need to see paid receipts that you actually paid for this, and it has to be after the grant date. So use that. You will sign a grant agreement and a photo release before you can access the grant funds. You will get a 1099, and you are responsible for reporting any grant, pitch competition, any other types of funding for your business. So we have, and y'all let me know if this shows up okay on your site. Can you guys see this okay? Can someone just send
You can
something
see it.
or let me know you can see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our checklist, and this is what is really frustrating is people said they have done this, but we can tell they haven't read it because they haven't met the qualifications for the grant. This is something to help you with. Again, woman-owned formation document showing managers. A business name alone on an LLC does not qualify. So business formation document is just that. LLC, corporation, assumed name, all pages signed and dated, no changes made after the grant. One year we had somebody had their husband on there, and after the grant was announced, they changed their business to woman owned, saying it went back 2 years. That's not a legal document. We're not going to accept that. We aren't taking, we had somebody one time on their formation documents had their spouse on there, and they said, well, yeah, we can change it, but then we can change it every year. If you're changing your business every year, it is not woman owned. So please make sure you have this. 50, you and your husband on the same one is not 51%. So we need to see the documentation showing you own the business, the managers 51% or more. Is it a for-profit business? Because it has to be. Is the business located and operated in Texas? Yes. Do you meet our eligibility requirements? If your formation document shows your business is in Houston, you're not going to win. If your business is somewhere else, you have to include that with your formation documents showing that your business is no longer there or was never in that location. It has to be rural. Copy and paste the company background information and answer every question. Again, many times people leave out one question. If you don't have our headings, and you send us a 20-page summary, which we don't want, we could miss one of these questions because you did not make your answer clear and you're going to be disqualified. You need to upload invoices, proposals, pictures, quotes, anything showing the item you're going to purchase. Don't send a link to Amazon. Send a picture of the product, what you're going to buy from Amazon, showing how much. We've had somebody send advertising before. Well, it had like 100 different things. We don't even know what program you're buying and how many months you're going to do it. You have to be specific. If we go in and we can't do the math to 10,000 what our grant is paying for because you didn't make it clear in your grant proposal, you are going to be disqualified. And sometimes people don't even send these. I got something yesterday. If you need the quotes, etc., email me. Well, darn it, it says it in the grant you need to upload that. I'm not going to reach out to somebody after the fact to tell them they need to do that, because once you submit your grant, you can't go back and submit anything else. You can start this process now and be adding things as you go along, as you're getting closer. If you want, you can have your SBDC advisor look at it and review it for you. If you have certain questions, send it to the CWE grants at TWU email. It is on here. Confirm your business is compliant with the state. Many times, if your business is not collecting sales tax, it may not show up. But if you are paying sales tax, you should be able to find this. If it says your business is forfeited with the state, you better hurry up and try to get that fixed, or you're going to be ineligible for the grant. Prepare a budget. Show a budget. Do not put it in a paragraph. I'm going to buy this for this, this, this. Line the numbers up. We need to know exactly what we're paying for. This is shown in the FAQ and it is shown in the grant application. Source. Source is where you're getting what the project, I'm sorry, use is what the funds are going to be used for. So if that is Facebook ads, source is going to be who's paying for it. And then you'll need however many dollars. And whatever documentation that you are sending or quotes, you better circle it, highlight it if it is not clear. If it is way over the number we're going to pay and you don't have anything marked or said what exactly we're buying, you're going to be disqualified. We have to know exactly what $10,000 is purchasing. Now, sometimes people say, well, what if it doesn't equal that? What if it's 4,000 and something? Go buy a box of paper, buy some pens, buy anything to make it equal 10,000 or over. Again, just in that one, you can put grant funds, but if it's over 10,000, you'll be disqualified. So put grant funds / owner investment, and we'll know whatever's over you are paying. But everybody can find something that costs a few dollars for their business if what you're purchasing does not equal the grant amount that we're giving. Okay. If you have any questions about the grant application, please email. This email is here for grant questions only. So make sure that you read this and actually check and make sure you did all of this. This is a great thing to do in the beginning before you even start. So we know that you've looked over everything online. Okay, let me see another. This is where you can find out if your county. This grant goes by county. I don't care if you live in a town of 200 in a county of 100,000. You are not in a rural county and are not eligible for this grant. All of these on here are the areas where you are eligible for this grant. And again, if your documentation shows Austin or somewhere else as your business address, and that's not where you're doing business, you send us that information. And then the other page, again, that we haven't taken a peek at, we'll just look at the FAQ. What is a rural county? Can a nonprofit? Most all of these are things in the eligibility that you need to meet. Do I have to be affiliated? No, you don't have to be. In fact, people affiliated with TWU aren't eligible. Can previous grant winners? No, but every year they ask us. This one, don't hire a grant winner, a grant writer. We have had bad luck with this. We had one person who paid a grant writer, but they never submitted for her. This grant is not difficult. Answer the question. Work with your small business advisor if you don't understand a question. If there's a section in there you don't know if you've made it clear, send it to us. Do not waste money on a grant writer. We had another person several years ago that started promoting online that that you could go through a grant training with her. Was disqualified twice and never won a grant from us. These questions are not hard. So please just answer them. Ask us questions. You don't know these other people's background, and it's really not worth spending several thousand on a grant that you could answer, or if you asked us, we would answer the questions. Our template is easy. Do not overthink this. We have listed what can be, again, this is the number one reason people are disqualified. It's not showing woman owned. Any woman owned certification that is current through this date showing your business is woman owned. Now, somebody went through a minority business association and has one that says that, but it does not say woman. So if it doesn't say woman, on a certification, it's okay. You don't have to go out and get a certification. Certifications take a while, but I've had some say, well, do I have to do this? No, send your formation documents, which you should already have. Sole proprietor, DBA, it's like 35 at your county clerk, but you can't apply today. This should have already been done. If there was a lapse or something, send it to us. If you went from sole proprietor to an LLC, send us all those formation documents. You send something that is not 3 years or older, you're not going to get the grant. So we have to see, whoever is looking at this, that you have sent proof that your business is owned and controlled by you. So here's the whole list again in here. I harp on this a lot, but almost half of all applications are rejected here. Again, send it. I answer every single question about this. So you can only apply once for one business that you own. We do not pay sales tax. All of these you can look at. Anything, look here before you send an email. Many times, and I answer the questions this way. They ask a question that is clearly in our guidelines or FAQ. I send it directly from this website. So there were 3 words in the beginning that I said: read, read, read. Read the guidelines, read the FAQ, read everything in here. What if I can't attend the small business training course? Well, you don't know when it is yet, but it is virtual. And if you can't see it, we're going to give you can watch the video and send answers to questions afterwards. We put how to check that. What does source and use of funds mean? This one doesn't show both you grant funds and something else. And again, your grant you're applying for is not this one, but this is an example. But again, here, if it went over 5,000 slash, you could put trailer or grant funds slash owner investment. That's all we need. We don't need it broken down. We just need to know what is over grant amount is going to be paid for you. We do not pay bills with grant funding. But again, if you wanted to buy QuickBooks, if you wanted to do something like that in one lump sum software, something like that, you could do it. We're not going to pay for Google Ads for 12 months. If you purchase a package for Google Ads and pay for it all at once, that is eligible. Many don't know here what contribution to the economy when our applications due. June 20th before, and we have all these zeros on here. Start early. Do not call, do not email, do not anything else to see if your application is received. You will get notification that it was submitted by submittable. Where can I get additional questions answered? Here's that email again. Anything you have questions on, please, please, please reach out. Okay, I am going to stop sharing. If you ladies that are on have any questions, please ask them right now. Virginia, if you wrote any, or if you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask them now. Excuse me.
I just wanted to make a comment. I think this was very, very, very helpful. I think in terms of what you said is, reading everything, especially the frequently asked questions, because these are people that have already gone and done some of these things to warrant these frequently asked questions. So I really just wanted to, I did not realize that your grant had only been in effect 3 years.
The rural grant has only
Yes.
been in effect for through, this is our third year of that. We have a veteran grant and a Start Her grant that will be pre-announced in August for businesses less than 5 years. And then we did have an Assist Her grant in 2020. The Center for Women Entrepreneurs to date has given $2,370,000 to women-owned businesses in Texas. For those of you watching, we want to add you to this list. And most of our grants are 5,000. So this is an exceptional opportunity that you have to get a grant. I mean, think about it, ladies. How long would it take you to have 10,000 in your business you could spend on anything that you want? Yeah, it could take you a long time. This application, again, I think many times women tend to overthink things. Just answer. Some of the best grants, I'm telling you, it may have been only 2 sentences in each one, but they made it so clear. It was so easy because, again, there are multiple people judging this. So in the very first spot, if your formation document is wrong, you're disqualified. I'm not going to go to one of the other uploads because that's not what is asked for in that question. All right.
I think you answered a lot of questions, and I'm sure. I mean, I know I've emailed you a ton of questions already, especially throughout the years. But I think that you made the formation documents very clear. for us, and you did answer because we do have there has been a lot of change, like people going from assumed name to LLC, um,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So that cleared that stuff, that those questions up for me, because those are the questions that I've been asked as well. But I think that everything else is very, very clear in the uh, application process. So hopefully we'll get some good applicants over to you again this year.
Well, I hope so. I would love to see some more from your area. I just love that. And when they need an advisor for the 3 hours of small business advising, again, it's going back to you. And you guys can check that economic impact box for.
Th- That's right. That's always really nice to do too. Um, and it's good because the grant has really helped a lot of our local businesses the last 2 years, and hopefully this will be the third year. But they've been able to do a lot of really neat projects to certain businesses using the grant funds, and it's money you don't have to pay back. So
I know it's such a great opportunity, and to get that at once, it can really change the trajectory of a business. So, for you guys that have joined online, thank you so much for doing that, and for we appreciate you guys so much. Again, you can reach out to them. All of you should know that Grant's email now CWE grants at TW. But again, it's there to answer the questions because, and I said it before, nothing is more frustrating than knowing somebody spent a lot of time on a grant and they're kicked out at the very first spot. So again, my final words, read, read, read.
thank you so much, Tracy. We appreciate you taking time to go over the grant qualifications and application process. And hopefully we can do this again next year.
Sounds good, and we'll do it early.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Thank
Tracy.
you.
You too.
You
Bye-bye.
bet.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I will send you the video as well.